Yes, yes. So I'm in my 30s now, and I have lived 30 years on this planet. And there's a couple things, a couple really like cheap, almost free things, like tips and tricks that I've learned over the last couple of years, especially the last 6, I'm 36 now, that literally have changed my life. And I thought, why not share this information, this wealth of knowledge with you? So these are my super simple, almost free life hacks that will actually change your life. Number 1, get dogs. Hello. But actually though, getting a dog as a life hack, chef's kiss. One of the big ones for me, especially as someone who was a bit of like a stimulant addict, and I don't mean that I was addicted to doing like stimulant drugs when I was younger, but I was definitely addicted to things like caffeine. I would say in the last like 5-ish years, I started to have this like really weird relationship with caffeine where some days it was fine and other days it would give me this horrible anxiety, and I just straight up couldn't sleep all the time. So no caffeine after 1 p.m. Now I get to drink coffee and it doesn't ruin my life. So because of your circadian rhythm and the fact that caffeine sits in your system for 6 to 8 hours, it can totally mess with your sleep cycle. So by cutting it off, like I have to be finished my drink at 1 p.m. and this has lowered my risk of getting anxiety later on in the day or anxiety at all if I'm drinking coffee. And it's also improved my sleep. I start getting tired a lot earlier in the night. If you are craving a pick-me-up at like 3 p.m., try something with like a higher sugar content instead, like maybe some soda water with some apple juice or like an herbal tea. If you are really sensitive to caffeine and like totally addicted like I was, slowly start to taper your caffeine intake so you don't get those migraines that we're all very familiar with when we are tapering off our coffee intake. The other thing too is that I suggest having caffeine not be the first thing that enters your body in the morning. That also made a huge change to my gut and my anxiety level as well. I'll drink like a huge glass of water first, I'll eat my breakfast, and then I'll have my caffeine. Another hack that kind of ties in with the caffeine hack is if you do get jitters or anxiety from caffeine, take 1L-theanine or theanine, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like an amino acid, I think, but it just calms your nervous system. It's actually what is in matcha naturally. So most people that drink matcha don't get jitters like they do if they drink coffee because it has the L-theanine or L-theanine in it. So you can also just take that with coffee and have the same effect. So the next tip is organizing all of your pills, whether it's medications or supplements that you have to take throughout the week on Sundays. This was huge for me. So every Sunday I have this like great little pill container and I take out all of the supplements that I like to take and all of the medications that are prescribed to me. I put them in the AM or the PM slot so that every single day they're already there. I don't have to take out like 15 different pill bottles and worry about like, did I take this or did I not? If it's in there, then I didn't take it. If it's not in there, I took it so that I don't accidentally double up on my ADHD medication, which is very, very bad. One of the ways that I like to make sure that I do this regularly is I make sure that all of the containers of my medications and my supplements are in a really nice, easily accessible spot in a bin. So I just take them down every week, refill it, and then put them all away. So that brings me to today's sponsor. One of the supplements that I'm taking regularly every single day is the Ritual Symbiotic Plus. Symbiotic Plus is a prebiotic, a probiotic, and a postbiotic that helps aid in digestive gut health and your microbiome. Symbiotic Plus is designed with 2 clinically studied strains of probiotics to help with digestive discomforts like bloating and gas and support healthy regularity. I've definitely noticed a difference since taking Symbiotic daily. I'm definitely less bloated and I'm very regular, which is always a bonus. Symbiotic Plus is so much more than just a probiotic. It contains 2 of the world's most clinically studied probiotic strains, prebiotics to support the growth of beneficial bacteria and postbiotics support gut barrier function, and they're all in one capsule. The delayed release capsule is designed to help reach the colon, not the stomach, which is an ideal place for probiotics to survive and grow. You've probably seen Ritual everywhere, and if you've wanted to try them, now is the best time because now they are having a huge New Year sale where you get 30% off your entire order. I've been using Ritual for years, so I know that you'll love them. They are formulated with high quality ingredients in their most bioavailable forms. This one is, well, I was gonna say for my ADHD girlies, but I feel like everyone does this. Do you like get ready to go anywhere and you're trying on different outfits, and instead of putting them away like a normal person, you just leave them on your bed, or God forbid that chair in your bedroom that just is another makeshift closet that you just throw like partially worn or clean clothes on. May I suggest to you the double hamper method? So the double hamper method was actually suggested to me by my ADHD therapist because I'm not dirty, but I can be quite messy. I have this rule now in my mind where I say to myself when I'm doing things like, don't put it down, put it away, because for some reason my brain just can't put things in their spot. It'll just like leave it on the table, or in my bedroom's case, all over the bed. The double hamper method is you have one hamper for dirty clothes. So these are the clothes that are soiled, your dirty underwear, your socks, things that, I don't know, you got stains on, whatever, in one laundry hamper. And then you have another laundry hamper for slightly worn clothing that you don't want to put back in your closet because you have worn them and you'll probably wear them again, or just for things that you haven't worn that you also haven't put away yet. If I'm like going out with my friends, or I have to get ready for an event or something and I'm trying on 50 different things and I don't have time to put them away, I'll just pick them all up off the bed and put them in my slightly worn or clean laundry hamper. And then twice a week, I'll go through that laundry hamper and I'll put it all away at once. You can use color-coded hampers to distinguish the two. I also find that this cuts down in overall laundry because before I couldn't figure out what was worn, what was lightly worn, and what was clean. This way, I have the two laundry hampers and I don't get confused. I don't have to do like the smell test before putting it away or throwing it in the dirty laundry hamper. A lot of these tips you'll notice are kind of tailored to the fact that I have pretty bad ADHD, and this one specifically was another one that my therapist suggested. She suggested creating a command center at your front door. So in my command center, I have this little dish, and that's where I keep my wallet, I keep my keys, I keep anything that I might need to put in my purse and take with me. So that's what I have in the command center on top of the little shelf that I have. In the shelf, I also keep other things that I might need. So my sunglasses are in there, cleaner for the sunglasses, like wet wipes, anything that I might use when I go out, but isn't like a constant thing that I use. Everything when I walk in the door goes right there so I can always find it. And now I no longer forget my keys. That was a thing that used to happen all the time and it was the worst. The next tip actually is kind of similar to the command center, but by my command center, I have a fast charger for my phone. So I also never charge my phone and it is always dead. And sometimes I'll be running out the door and I'll notice that my phone is at like 5%. So having a quick charger right there is very, very helpful because while I'm waiting for my Uber, or if I have like an extra 5 minutes, with a regular charger, your phone won't charge very much in 5 minutes, but with a fast charger, it will very quickly. Now I keep this by my command center because that's where my front door is, but you can keep it in whatever area you want that's like easily accessible. So sometimes I'll also just keep it in my kitchen because it's so close to my front door. So when I'm waiting for my Uber or something, I'll just plug it in. So when you are looking for a fast charger, look for something that's high wattage, like 20 watts or more is definitely preferred. And you can find them on like Amazon or whatever. Okay, this one's like really simple and might be obvious to some people, but it was not obvious to me. And I have no idea how long I was using dry shampoo incorrectly. So you know when you're using dry shampoo and you're like getting ready and you're just like spraying your hair and then you almost feel like you have this like white baby powder looking stuff on your hair, especially if you have darker hair. Don't do it the day that you're getting ready. Do it at night before you go to bed. So applying your dry shampoo like after your skincare routine and brushing it through and going to bed will actually give the dry shampoo enough time to like soak up all that oil, and then you don't have that weird white dust on your scalp or on your hair. So you can just like wake up and brush through your hair and your hair is good as new. All I do really is just like spray it in, massage it in, brush it through, and then I sleep with like a satin bonnet, so I'll just throw that up, and then in the morning my hair is just like very voluminous and I don't have to worry about like getting all that dust off my hair. So another one that my therapist taught me was the timer method for tasks. For me, if I want to clean the kitchen, I can clean the kitchen for 5 hours. Like I'll just get like totally lost in it. I'll like hyper focus on it it and I'll do it forever. So what I will do is I'll just take my phone and I'll set a timer on my phone. I'll be like, okay, I have 30 minutes to clean this kitchen. And once that timer goes off, the task is done. So it creates like a sense of urgency. So you are staying on task because you only have a certain amount of time to get the task done. And it also just like prevents you from like getting lost in your brain or your podcast that you're listening to or whatever. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I've been cleaning this cupboard for 3 hours. So it keeps you more mindful about time management, which is something I'm terrible with. And then the Pomodoro technique, doing something for 25 minutes and then taking a 5-minute break. Taking that 5-minute break for me almost gives me like a rush of dopamine. I like to do something like nice in that 5-minute break. So I'll like get up and pet the dogs, which like gives me some hits of dopamine. So another thing that has kind of like a multi-purpose in my life is motion censored lights. You know when you like get home and you're like your hands are full and you're like fumbling to like find a light to go on so that you don't trip over your stuff when you get in the house? Get some motion censored lights. Have them in all the bathrooms, because in the middle of the night when I want to go to the bathroom, I don't want to go to the bathroom in the dark, but I also don't want to go to the bathroom in like bright daylight lighting either. So it just gives you enough light so that you can see. It doesn't mess with, you know, the blue light in the middle of the night that keeps you up after you've gone pee and then you can't fall back asleep again. It helps keep you in that kind of like sleepy state. It's such a simple thing, but it makes such a huge difference to me personally. I don't know why. It just does. All right, this next one's huge for me because I work for myself and I work from home. So there is no strict like 9 to 5 like office hours because I just can't function that way. I have found that just in general, my notifications on my phone really stress me out. So I set a timer that I only get alerts for things like my email from 9 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock at night. After those hours, emails obviously are still coming in. I'm just not getting the alerts on my phone, which makes a huge difference. I also just turned off the alerts to my social media altogether, so I'm not getting them all the time and my phone isn't just constantly going off. It also just doesn't distract me when I'm doing things. I also find that this helps with like mindless scrolling, because the minute I see my notifications from my social media, I'll like generally go check it out. And then before I know it, it's been like 40 minutes of mindless scrolling and I don't even remember why I opened my phone to begin with. I don't know, there's like a sense of like, not panic, but just like a little like tick of anxiety every time an email comes in that I no longer have outside of like traditional office hours. I also like to set certain focus presets. So when I am doing something like filming, my phone doesn't get notifications. I just set it to like a focus mode. So the only thing that can come through are like important calls from certain people. And I have a sleep one, so I don't get anything until the morning, which is very, very helpful because again, if something goes off or I'm seeing my phone go off and the light's going off in the bedroom and I go and check, it's very easy for me to get lost in like scrolling or answering emails or just giving myself a little ticks of anxiety that then help me not sleep. So I think this one is really relevant now, but I've always had this. I have a go bag, which isn't just for emergencies, but also like if my boyfriend's like, hey, like let's go away for the weekend and I have like less than an hour to pack, instead of running around like a crazy person, I have all my things in one spot. So I have this pre-packed bag and it has a couple different layers to it. So the main pre-packed bag has all of my important documents in it. So, you know, like my birth certificate, the dog's documents, my passports, anything really, really important that if something were to happen, I need to just grab that and go. It's all in one spot, which also makes it really good for if you're on like a quick minute trip, because you know exactly where your passport is, you know exactly where all your other documents are, and you can just like pick up and go. It's like one bag with a bunch of little bags. So in that bag, I have a change of clothes, clean underwear, clean socks, like a comfy outfit. And then I also have like toiletries. So there's always toothbrush, toothpaste, like a pared down skincare routine in like travel size bottles. If I'm going on a trip and I have like 15 minutes to pack, I can just grab, oh, my passport and all my important documents. Oh, and there are all my toiletries. And oh, there's like a change of clothes and clean underwear. And then I'll go pick out like 2 more outfits if I need it, but it's all right there and I don't have to think about, oh, what toiletries am I gonna bring? So it kind of eases your mind a little bit for travel. But if there was to be like some sort of emergency at home, you can also just like pick up that entire bag and get up and go. I also have a phone charger in there there at all times, hand sanitizer, a notepad, and a pen. Almost forgot the most important thing. I also have a couple cans of dog food in there. So if there is an emergency, I have food for the dogs. I don't have to like worry about packing that for them. Okay, this last one is a huge game changer for me. I mean, they're all game changers, but this one specifically helped me out in a number of reasons. I suggest everyone get a white noise machine. Or if not a white noise machine, like have a dedicated device in your bedroom that's hooked up to a speaker or something to play like white or brown noise. This has helped with my sleeping immensely. It's also very helpful if you have dogs that are yappy, like these two that like to bark at noises in the middle of the night. Having that noise on just drowns out any small noise that maybe they can hear but you can't, and just kind of avoids that barking in the middle of the night that can like terrify you out of a deep sleep because your dogs are barking at, I don't know, the neighbor upstairs. You can buy noise machines with multiple sound options, which is what I have, just so that it's in my one spot all the time. I don't have to do it on my phone. All right, so those are my free, mostly, tips to change your life. They've changed mine. Hopefully you found a few of them helpful. Thank you so much to Ritual for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget that they are having their New Year's sale, so you can get 30% off if you use code Edgy Veg, and I will leave the link in the description box down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.